Hi Scorpio, welcome to your fortnightly check-in with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon, or rising sign, Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everyone, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look at your cross purposes. So we're going to be starting with these from now on, just so that we can get rid of the gnarly stuff and hopefully get you onto a bit more of a happy, more positive reading, if that's what the cards tell you, right? I get so many complaints. Some people are, it's all too doom and gloom, and then I get other people, it's all too happy, and it's like, you know what, you can't please everyone all the time, so fuck it. I'm definitely not trying anymore. I haven't, not for a long time. All right, so you have the Magician card. It's an interesting one to have, to be honest, as a cross purposes card. So there's two ways that we can look at this. On a microcosmic level, how you get in your own way. This is about the fibs that we tell ourselves, right? The lies, the stories, the masks that we put on, all of that kind of stuff. Where is it that you are playing? Where is it maybe that you're playing yourself by telling yourself a certain thing or buying into a certain narrative? You got to remember the Magician card in its negative aspect is the trickster, right? So is this maybe potentially your subconscious is telling you that you're not as powerful as as you think you are, and all the other stuff that kind of gets lodged in there or shoved down our throats via society and parents and conditioning and all of that shite. On the other side of this, the Magician card can also represent a powerful person. Now, I'm going to have a look at, we're going to pull another card with this just to kind of give it more context. But yeah, be mindful with this. Be mindful, because it can represent a powerful person. And you've got this with the Judgment card, right? That is a very potent pairing, very potent indeed. So the first thing that I want to say to you is, for those, for not all of you, but for some of you, this could be if you've had a problem with a powerful person, an authority figure, maybe somebody that is not chosen, but a prominent figure within a certain industry, etc. This may come up over this next fortnight, potentially to bite you in the butt, right? This could be one of those times where, not necessarily, actually it could show up as revenge. It's very, very possible. It doesn't have to, and it's probably not going to be for everybody. The other way that this could also show up as well, because it's the Judgment card on top of the Magician, I'm going to say this to you, Scorpio, 9 times out of 10, you can best them all. Be very mindful if you've got an opponent at the moment that you either are working against or you feel is working against you. You don't know what this person's aces are up their sleeve. And I'm just going to tell you straight up, right? As I said, 9 times out of 10, Scorpio, most powerful sign. This time, however, I would be careful. In the back of my mind, I don't know if you've seen Creed Part 2. In that, when he's training for his comeback, Rocky says to Adonis, you can tell I'm a bit of a geek about stuff like this. I love movies and films and stuff, because you always see things that really speak to life at some point. But he says, usually what you see is what you'd get. This one's got an ace up their sleeve for you. He's got something that's waiting for you. And I'm going to tell you straight up, be mindful of getting into any kind of spiritual battles or things behind the scenes or whatever, because this time you don't know your opponent well enough. Straight up. Okay? Now, on a brighter note, for your actions and results, you have the World card. Beautiful. With the 6 of Wands, get in, and the 9 of Swords. Okay, so one way that this potentially shows up for you in terms of actions, this is you, Scorpio, ready to collect. You out here ready to collect, okay? Like, I love it. That Nine of Swords, though, it's almost as if you are denying yourself a victory because of not necessarily where it comes from, but because it maybe doesn't necessarily look exactly as you wanted it to. The other thing with this as well, if you have plans that have an international flavour or rely on some form of travel, it potentially looks like you're so stressed out about it that you might not necessarily enjoy the trip. And that's a real shame, right? You know, travel is can be really expensive. So if you're going on a trip or a journey of some sort, you have one planned, do what you can to get out of your mind and into your body so that you can actually enjoy it. All right, for your career and communications, you've got the Two of Cups, beautiful connections and collaborations with the Fool card, new connections and collaborations with the Seven of Wands that potentially challenge you to get out of your comfort zone, right? That Two of Cups with the Fool card, that's a new relationship of some sort. Because we're looking at the career and the communications, it's probably likely to be a work one or a professional one in some way, shape, or form. So that's cool. What I will say to you though is with that Seven of Wands, if this is so, for those of you that are students studying in academia, this is either a new friend or a connection that comes in, or potentially a new professor. Whoever this person is, you absolutely take a shine to each other, but that Seven of Wands suggests that there's a clash of opinions somewhere. And this I actually think is very good for you because it's like this person or this new person, professor, lecturer, whatever it might be, even friend, social circle, they push you, they press your buttons, and not to be mean or any of that stuff, but actually to push you out of your comfort zone. I think this is going to be good for you. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, same kind of difference, right? There's a connection, a collaboration, a partnership of some sort where somebody pushes you or challenges you to go beyond what you think is possible. And that's what it comes down to. At the moment, it's like you see things one way, and somebody comes in, and it is somebody new. It's a new connection because it's the Fool card. So this isn't somebody that is known to you, but this person comes in and they force you to kind of look at the way that you do things, the way that you understand things, maybe some of the beliefs or the ideas that you have. There's a shake-up coming in here through the career, and I think this is great for you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I love this for you guys, right? This is a complete shake up. This is changing it up, switching it up, doing something different. It's also potentially, for those of you, if you've had problems or issues or arguments, etc., with peers, with employees, or whatever it might be, there's a potential here to fix it, but it's going to take some really frank conversation, which, you guys are no strangers to. Um, but this time it will be you saying the I'm sorry. This time it will be you saying okay, you know what? This is maybe one of those times where I kind of put my hands up and say, okay, I'll own this one. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, same sort of thing. But I feel like this might show up for you guys in terms of a hobby or something that you do that you really enjoy, where, to be honest with you, maybe it's like a class that you go to and you've not really made any effort to get to know anyone because you're so busy being scorpionic and mysterious. Right? And someone calls you out on it and says, well, you've been coming for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks and you haven't spoken to anybody. What, you too good for us? And you're kind of like, because usually you don't really shop for. Listen, my Scorpio people, I know I could say anything to them and they rarely bat an eyelid, but this might actually shock you out of some kind of complacency. So I like this triplet. I actually think it's going to show up really nicely for you. For your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. Nice. So potentially connecting the money, fusing the money with the Ace of Wands. Okay, I see what you're working with. Scorpio out here getting sexy. Okay, so for those of you that are single, there is definitely new connections on the horizon. There is definitely some kind of, not relationship, but there's definitely a spark. There is a spark of attraction, sexually, physically, mentally. I think you're going to really like the way this person handles themselves on the material plane and, in terms of like banter. Listen, if you even step to me, you ain't got no banter, you ain't got no chat, don't bother. What's the point? What's the point? This needs to be working as well as everything else. You get me? Okay. So you may potentially meet through some kind of business, personal project, etc. Two aces can represent trickery, or it can represent a birth, like a true birth of something. And the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, that's earth and fire. Earth and fire bring my desire. So I'm totally here for it. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, it's about to get steamy for y'all. And I think you are going to have potentially a fortnight where you and your partner just can't keep your hands or your eyes off of each other, especially because it looks like you're working on a new venture. It's like something that you're doing together that just really excites you, and it's like you're seeing each other at your best again. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you see your partner at your best, and you're like, damn, like, that's sexy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but you're seeing each other like that at the moment in regards to something that you're working on together at the same time. Fantastic. For your money and materials, you have the Strength card. Okay, nice. You got the Eight of Swords. What do we see here? Strength is 8. Eight of Swords is obviously 8, so 2 8s, and the Knight of Wands. 2 8s represents new knowledge, new wisdom, new information. And because this falls on these cards here, this is a partnership and or a collaboration of some sort that really has good results. The Strength card with the Eight of Swords, it's like you and so for those of you that are partnered already, and this is you and your partner, it's like you collectively know this is going to take us a long time. It's exciting now. Maybe 6 months from now, it's probably not going to be as exciting because it feels like it's taking forever, but we're in it for the long haul, and this is a passion of ours, right? For those of you where this is a work partnership or professional alliance or collaboration, it's like something that you work on. It really enhances your earning potential. This fortnight, it's like you're putting in the hard work and the foundations that are going to make the money. You might not necessarily be seeing the results immediately. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I actually like this for those of you, if you want to go to acupuncture, it looks like some of you are going around that. If you're doing something, especially for things like the lower back, the hips, and the thighs, those all seem to be coming up. And yeah, I'm getting really strong acupuncture vibes from this. So I'll be interested to see if anybody's going for that. I've been doing this now actually for myself as well. I'm not Scorpio, but I've been having acupuncture now for the last, I think it's about 6 weeks, and it's actually really been a game changer for me. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this I actually really, it's not so much that I like it, but I feel like this is the drive forward. And, for a lot of you, you might be feeling really tired or, peeved with something at the moment, and you're kind of like, oh, you know what? But you really are on the home stretch with completing something at this point. And I really feel like I'm supposed to tell you, you need to dig in, finish it, see it through. Once it's done, right? There's not long to go. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic fortnight. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.